The glamorous and sparkling world of showbiz superstars mostly comes with its fair share of ups and downs. These stars are humans just like us, subject to the same ailments and physical frailties. They are up and running at one point and down and out at the next point. This is just a perfect reflection of the life of the superstar music icon, the legendary Celine Dion, whose shining light is presently being dimmed by unexpected health setbacks. Born on the 30th of March, 1968 in Charlemagne, Quebec, Celine Dion has been a household name for decades. Her powerful and emotive voice touches the hearts of millions across the globe. The once glamorous lady is now a shadow of herself as she has been diagnosed with a rare and incurable neurological disorder known as stiff person syndrome, which led to her making the difficult decision to cancel her world tour. Celine Dion's sister, Claudette, recently came forward to provide an update on the singer's health status. Stiff person syndrome is an extremely rare disorder affecting approximately 1 in a million people. It is characterized by stiffness and functional impairment of the muscles, often accompanied by spasms, functional disability, and a high prevalence of associated autoimmune diseases. The precise cause of the syndrome is not well understood, making it a challenging condition to manage and treat. Claudette Dion provided insight into the ongoing struggle to find a cure or effective treatment for her sister's diagnosis. "We can't find any medicine that works, but having hope is important," Claudette stated. Her words reflect the complexity of the situation and the uncertainty they face as a family. However, she emphasizes the importance of hope, a sentiment that resonates with anyone familiar with long-term illnesses and their unpredictable trajectories. Delving deeper into Celine Dion's situation, Claudette brought up an interesting and often overlooked aspect of being a high-profile celebrity: the relentless push to exceed expectations, and the constant desire to give more than 100% every time. "I honestly think that she mostly needs to rest," Claudette mused. "She always goes above and beyond when performing. She always tries to be the best and top of her game." Her words highlight the often invisible pressures and demands faced by global superstars like Celine Dion. The relentless drive to be on top of her game could indeed be a factor in her current health struggles. It's a potent reminder that even the most exceptional amongst us are not immune to the pressures of constantly performing at peak levels. Claudette's final remark provides a nugget of wisdom not only for her sister but for all of us, celebrities or otherwise. She underscores the importance of turning into what our bodies are telling us. At one point, your heart and your body are trying to tell you something. It's important to listen to it, she advises. In a race to achieve and surpass, we often ignore the signal our bodies send us, only to be forced to confront them when they escalate into something more serious. Celine Dion's health journey is a stark reminder that despite their larger-than-life personas, celebrities too grapple with their own physical and emotional battles. The news of Celine Dion's health crisis has sent shockwaves across her global fans base, prompting heartfelt wishes for her recovery. As we continue to follow her journey, we are reminded that while the star may be facing one of her life's most significant challenges, she is not alone. Her family, friends, fans, and indeed, the whole world is with her. With the right support and the right spirit, there's no challenge too big to overcome. And if there's one thing we know about Celine Dion, it's her strength and resilience she needs in these trying times. Despite being a superstar, Celine Dion considered her mourners her role model. The singer of My Heart Will Go On, and René Angélil, her late husband, had 3 boys together: René Charles, 22, and the twins Nelson and Eddie, 11. Dion and her sons have relied on one another for support ever since Angélil passed away in 2016 from throat cancer. Dion claimed in a 2007 interview with People that she wasn't really a singer, and that her life is to be a mom. "It's what I find most enjoyable. It is my most incredible reward," she said. "I'm willing to gamble with my music. I don't run the risk of hurting my family. For me to be able to share my delight with my son, René Charles," she continued. "I am not capable of doing better than that." Dion spoke candidly about her family's loss and how they were coping after Angélil's death. I feel extremely fortunate as a mother that it's probably the thing I'm most proud of. I prepared my children for how to live, how to cope with him without his presence, she said to Ellen DeGeneres in October 2016. It's part of our existence and life has forced this on Angelil, she continued. That was his fate and I still feel really lucky that he has given me 3 wonderful children. Excellent luggage. Dion's sons acted as her light when she was forced to put off all of her tours through April 2024 as a result of being diagnosed with stiff person syndrome in May 2023. Her main priorities have always been her sons and acting. She is the most caring and selfless person I have ever met, a source told People. Celine simply adores her boys to the fullest. They are wonderful. They provide her with all the love and support she requires. Below are snippets on Celine Dion's children. René Charles Angelil, 22. Born on January 25, 2001, in Loxahatchee, Florida, René Charles was given his father's name and weighed 6 pounds, 8 ounces. After a series of IVF procedures, Dion and Angelil welcomed their first child together when she was 32 and he was 59. Her oldest kid, according to Dion, is a miracle child. She revealed to People in May 2006, when René Charles was 5 years old, how much she cherished being his mother. Reading books to him, doing finger painting, and playing with Play-Doh all help me unwind. People probably find it difficult to believe that I can live a normal life, but I do, the singer stated. Following nearly 2 decades of international touring, Dion began her first residency at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, which she held from March 2003 to December 2007. The singer told People, I am a full-time mom. I'm looking for a more solid schedule to embrace my job as a mother. My top concern is that I go on to sing a few songs later that evening. At one particular performance, her son was one of the spectators. She remarked, it was the only time I felt nauseous before a show, and she added, my son was going to be there looking at me as a performer and not as a mom reading stories at bedtime. Sports were a big part of René Charles's upbringing. In 2015, Dion told People that her son, who was 14 at the time, was very athletic, and that he enjoyed playing hockey and golf. A few years later, wearing a jersey with Angelil printed on the back, Dion was spotted dancing and cheering in the stands at one of her son's hockey games in Terrebonne, Quebec. After his father passed away, René Charles had a significant impact on Angelil's burial by giving a moving eulogy. During a People interview, Dion reflected on the incident and noted that her kid wasn't sure he'd be able to read it. She told him, I just want you to know your dad and I have always respected you, in an effort to persuade him to read the eulogy. We appreciate your choice, he continued, before adding, this is the final time you can speak to your father. RC, it's for your dad, not for me or the crowd. Her oldest kid, according to Dion, is a miracle child. She revealed to People in May 2006, when René Charles was 5 years old, how much she cherished being his mother. Dion was astounded by the resilience her sons showed in the wake of their father's passing, particularly René Charles as the oldest of the 3. In a February 2017 interview with Extra, she recalled what she said to her firstborn right after Angelil passed away. René Charles is currently pursuing a career in music, following in his parents' footsteps. He put out 2 tracks on SoundCloud in May 2018 that peaked at number 1 and number 2 on the R&B and Soul New and Hot chart. After the tracks were released, René Charles spoke with the Montreal Gazette and described playing his mother the music for the first time. I just felt like keeping it to myself. But she treasured it. She was kind of startled at first because she had never heard from me before, he stated. Then, in January 2021, he released his EP under the name Casino Point 5. After the EP's release, Dion lauded her son on her Instagram story, writing, I'm very proud of my son. It touches me deeply since I adore him so much and one of his passions is also one of mine. In a heartfelt Instagram message on her oldest son's 21st birthday, Dion also shared her love for him. She added, I've been thriving as I watch you grow, next to a picture of Dion and Angelique holding René Charles in the hospital as a newborn. I'm always moved by your generosity, boldness, intelligence, and amazing sensitivity. Nelson and Eddie Angelique, 12. Dion and Angelique revealed that their family would be increasing in 2010 after 6 IVF cycles and 1 miscarriage. The pair is ecstatic to be expecting twins, Angelique said to People. Celine is just hoping for a healthy pregnancy, he continued. She had hoped for just 1 child, so the news that we are having 2 is especially welcome. The 5 pounds, 4 ounces, and 5 pounds, 10 ounces, fraternal twins Eddie and Nelson were born on October 23, 2010, in West Palm Beach, Florida. Eddie was given that name in honor of Dion's first 5 albums' producer, Eddie Marne. He was like a father to her, Dion's representative remarked at the time. Celine and René both credit Eddie as a key influence in their lives. While Dion once met Nelson Mandela while on tour, Nelson was named in his honor. Celine and René want their children to be inspired by the names, because they were so inspired by these men, the spokesperson for the actress continued. Dion saw the various characters of her twin sons even as an infant. One of them is braver than the other. Right now, Nelson appears to have a slightly more assertive demeanor. She stated to Hello, in November 2010 that he's the tougher of the 2. Despite being fraternal twins, they resemble one another greatly. Nelson was heavier at birth, but the doctor predicted that after a week or 2, he would be the same weight. When Angelique passed away, Eddie and Nelson were only 5 years old. Dion used Disney's Up to break the news to her 2 youngest sons. Before her late husband's funeral, she gave the twins a glitter and balloon-filled celebration after waiting a few days. She used a balloon analogy to explain his passing, telling children that Angelique had gone up and flown away on balloons and would not come back. I didn't want to tell doctors about the passing because I didn't want them to feel scared. It's the accomplishment of which I'm most proud, she told People. Dion discussed her and the twins' grieving process in an interview she gave to The Sun in April 2017. In order to avoid feeling lonely, the singer promised to arrange herself. To that end, she added, I got myself a large, huge bed and I sleep with my twins. They are giving me a lot of solace. I require them. I need them around. She remarked, when the time comes for them to announce they want their room is ready. But my friends and I watch a lot of TV. I'm learning about Disney. Dion, Eddie, and Nelson shared a nice nighttime routine after Angelique passed away to keep in touch with him, staying true to her up analogy. We have a small ritual where we say goodnight to him with a little picture, she said, according to the publication. Then the youngsters converse with him. And we fly the balloons into the air after they write words on them and place them inside. Dion talked openly about her decision not to bring her 3 children on tour before starting her Courage World Tour in September 2019. My kids will be based in Las Vegas, she said in response to a question in April 2019. I'm going to undertake the Globe Tour, but I'll travel back and forth and return home as much as I can. She added, that's going to be the first time I'm not going on tour with my kids, and in the end, she thought the experience will be good for Eddie and Nelson because they're mature for their age. She stated of her youngest sons, they're 8 years old but sometimes I feel like they're 14 already. They are extremely autonomous. In October 2020, Eddie and Nelson will turn 10. Dion wrote a heartfelt standing in piles of fall leaves, then 2 side-by-side frames of Eddie and Nelson standing in similar settings in previous photographs. Nelson and Eddie, you have been bringing so much joy, love, and laughter into our lives every single day for the past 10 years, Dion wrote. I'm extremely proud of you, as your older brother and your dad, who is undoubtedly keeping an eye on you. Happy birthday to your gorgeous boys. You have our undying love. The news of Celine Dion's health crisis has sent shockwaves across her global fans base, prompting heartfelt wishes for her recovery. As we continue to follow her journey, we are reminded that while the star may be facing one of her life's most significant challenges, she is not alone. Her family, friends, fans, and indeed, the whole world is with her.